Sit Down Marks, episode number 666. Let's talk some wrestling, shall we? Appreciate you guys being here, man. I'm the Dirty Bird. The sound alerts are on. Well, let me turn myself off in my ear. Sorry. There we go. All right. So episode number 6, man. I got the sound alerts turned on, so everybody out there in chat land, check those guys out. Use those bits, man. It's going to be fun, man. Let's talk about tonight on the show, man. I'm the Dirty Bird, your very, very heel host this time of year. Also, my guy over there, Primo, from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme himself. He's got a little surprise for us here.
Give me 1 second.
All right, so let's let him get this out of the way here.
I hate this surprise. I hate it.
There was a little man in a box that made it from Illinois to Virginia. Oh, he's got the medals on too. Look at this guy. So, long story short, congratulations, Primo. He won the Mania Pick'em contest by everybody here on the show. We were tied with 13 picks each. It came down to a tiebreaker between Bianca and Sasha by the time. And he won by a minute and a half. So, congratulations, Primo. Glad to see Kurt made it there in one piece. He's coming back. He's coming back, SummerSlam, baby. He's coming back.
Yeah, I'm very bitter about the placement of that Kurt right there.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
All right. But our other co-host here, he's on with us full time now, everybody. Welcome. I introduced him as the Markiest Mark of all Marks, but now he's from the mean streets of Chicago. AJ, everybody, welcome. Thanks, AJ, for being on with us. He's going to ride with us the rest of the way here as we get going.
Wahoo!
Our special guest today, man, a lot of people, if you are familiar with NASCAR Heat on Xbox, if you've seen any kind of races on any of my channels, you know who this guy is, man. This guy is he's one of the big dogs on NASCAR Heat, man. He's coming off his second championship in a little on the high side racing league. Mr. 2 times, yeah. I call him Mr. Consistent, man, because he's good at every track that he runs on. But tonight we brought him in here. We're going to talk a little wrestling. Everybody welcome Just in My Fist 24. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me on here, Dirty Bird.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you being here, man. This is going to be a fun show, man. We're going to do a little recap talking. We're going to talk about WWE cuts. You know, a little bit of indie action coming up. So, man, I tell you what, man. First thing, let's thank our sponsors here. I got a little Rowdy Sour Apple Green here tonight. Primo's with me.
Too.
Chiseled ice.
Little chiseled ice.
So thanks to Rowdy Energy. Appreciate it. So it goes right there on the screen. If you guys want to get some of that for yourself, then there's a link right there on my Twitter page. You can grab your own. Also, coastlandapparel.com. They sponsor the show here and also the channel. So go check those guys out. Use promo code BirdTV for 15% off. I got the hat on. AJ sporting the shirt.
Has a hood.
Primo's got the hat. Oh, I didn't even see those.
Fancy.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie, the only reason I got this shirt is because I was going to do the AJ Styles hood thing, but it doesn't work with this stupid hat on. So.
They don't want none. They don't want none. It was a good thought. All right, well, here we go, man. Primo, this day in wrestling and birthdays. Let's roll, baby.
All right, this day in history, April 21st. That is today, right? Correct.
Yep.
All right, 2002. We have Backlash 2002. The main event then, get this, Hulk Hogan defeats Triple H for the Undisputed Championship.
Undisputed Championship?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was one of the longest gaps in between WWE Heavyweight Championships since his last time before WCW.
Wow. 2002.
I think I read the other longest gap was Bob Backlund. Might have been the longest gap between world titles.
Yeah,
Was it a clean loss? Did Triple H job clean?
Yeah, I think it was. Oh no, it wasn't. I think there was interference via Undertaker.
Yeah. The old screwy Triple H finish there.
Yeah. So moving forward, a little more recent, and it kind of goes in line with somebody that we're talking about tonight. 2016, and it really crazy. It doesn't seem that long ago. 2016 NXT, Samoa Joe takes the NXT Championship from Finn Balor.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely love that match.
That was, man.
Great.
The Muscle Buster.
Mm-hmm. Demon Finn.
Yep. So this last one also goes with our top 5 favorite factions that we're talking about tonight. 2019, April 21st, was the Shield's final chapter. The final match for the Shield. They're preparing for Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley, to depart from WWE. And that was in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. So birthdays. Wrestling birthdays. April 21st. You have 1958. Back when, Dirty might remember this. 1958. Brutus Beefcake.
Brutus. Oh, Brudi.
Oh, we'll be talking about him later on.
1978. Move forward 20 years. You got Big Rick, otherwise known as Ezekiel Jackson. And in 1985, speaking of that 1985 year, Jay Lethal.
Oh,
Jay Lethal.
Yeah. Love some Jay Lethal, man.
Jay Lethal.
I did too.
Black Machismo.
Yeah, I was going to say, the best macho impression out there.
It was spot on. It was almost uncanny.
Oh, man. That was so good.
And that is April 21st in wrestling history.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the randomness of that because you get a bunch of different ones from a bunch of different eras, and so interesting. I would have never, you could have came to me and said, "Oh, you remember in 2002 when Hogan beat Triple H at Backlash?" No.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You never hear about it. It's not something that's ever talked about.
Right. Yeah. Now I would be interested to know: is that the last title Hogan won?
That was.
I don't know if he won any in TNA, but WWE.
Shocked.
Maybe he might have won. I don't remember when he won the tag titles with Edge.
Right. Yeah.
Six. I want to say 2007, something like that.
It's probably a good guess. It's got to be right around there.
It's definitely his last world title in WWE.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Well, hey guys, appreciate you joining in. Here's Enzo Ashton. We know this guy as Lucid. He used to race with us, remember, years ago? Or not years ago, well, maybe a year ago. But yeah, he's in here. Hang on. What's up, man? Appreciate you tuning in here tonight. So, all right. So, yeah, a lot of recap tonight. So let's get that going. Let's start off with AEW. Now, the only solo promotion on Wednesdays, all by himself. So, all right, AJ, let's go, baby.
All right. AEW last Wednesday kickoff with a Young Bucks promo talking about why they turned on Mox last week. Up
Super
next,
kick party.
Well, then there was a promo with Mike Tyson and MJF, which MJF's always great with his stupid scarves. And he offers Mike Tyson a check, and Mike Tyson chews it up and spits it out in Mike Tyson fashion, always biting things. So that's how the show kicked off. Two okay promos, and then we have the AEW Tag Championship match between Pac and Rey Fenix, and taking on the Young Bucks. Which this is like a great way to open the show, like match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a hot match, man. Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah,
like, it was.
Remind you of the old cruiserweight days in WCW.
Yeah, or like the X division and
TNA. In TNA, yeah.
Great. So the finish was kind of weird. Like, so Nick Jackson gives Pac a low blow, and then rips off Ray Phoenix's mask, and then they both super kick him, and for 1, 2, 3, and that's how they retain.
Yeah, big swerve there. Like I didn't see the mask thing coming. Like it just
I
happened
know, like
all of a sudden. Like now I know that I've seen this angle before because I'll say this because AAW in Chicago, Phoenix was in a feud with Sammy Callahan for a long time, and of course they got around to the mask versus career and all that stuff. Well, Ray always wore it without the chin strap, so Sammy did the same thing one time when I was at a live match and they were doing the blow off. He pulled it right off. So you see like a half a second glimpse of what he looks like, and then they,
yeah. Then he gets double super kicked.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Up next, quick promo with Hangman Page, which was not bad.
With the Dark Order, right? That's what it was?
With the Dark Order.
Yeah.
And then promo with the Inner Circle and Mike Tyson, where Jericho calls the Pinnacle the Pineapple, which
The Pineapple.
is just great.
Yeah.
Made me laugh. So there's a lot of squash matches on this show. So match number 2 was Red Velvet with against Jade Cargill. Basically just a squash match. Like she got Jade hit Red Velvet with the Jaded, and that was it. It took about 12 seconds.
Yeah. They're going all in on Jade. She's
Right.
going to be the next
Like
big
powerhouse,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
With her, Jade with her like China muscles. Like
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
she has China muscles. Up next, quick promo with Dr. Britt Baker, who just goes down the women's rankings, which match number 3, another squash match. This was with Anthony Ogogo, who is going by the Governor apparently. But listening to Excalibur try and say the Governor in a British accent made me laugh quite a bit because he was like the Governor. It's like, don't.
Yeah. The Governor.
It was another squash. Like against some jobber whose name I didn't even write, Cole Billy Body or something like that. Didn't write his name down.
They're pushing this guy, right, is like a big boxer over in England.
Yep.
He's so his finisher is like an abdomen shot, like like a gut shot, finisher.
Punch right to the meat basket.
Yeah. All right. So anybody, has anybody ever heard of a finisher with Big Show punch, Ronnie Garvin hands a stone punch, but like not that was to the face and jaw, like nothing never to the breadbasket, and you fall over. The referee's like, oh, he's out. Yeah, that's it. Right, Jess?
Right.
Come on, right?
Oh yeah, I've never seen something like that before. They really had him job hard for him. One of those local wrestlers coming in, make him look real strong.
Yeah.
I don't see one of the top stars taking a shot like that with one hit, but the jobbers, every time.
It's gonna knock him out. The ref stopped it immediately too. Like barely on the ground. The ref was like, no.
The second he hit the ground, the ref was already calling for it.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to work hard to try to get this one over, man. That's it's there's not much pizzazz to it. It's a little. It's like, that's this finisher.
I've this so many times before. Where how many times has it actually worked?
Right,
like 0.
Yeah,
The closest thing to like any kind of strike apart from Big Show was like Wade Barrett's little elbow, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's
I like the name though, Anthony Ogogo. I like
Anthony
that.
Ogogo. He's a British Olympian.
The
Olympics apparently.
That's catchy.
The bionic elbow.
Oh yeah. The wait, what was Dusty Rhodes' elbow?
Bionic elbow.
Bionic elbow.
Yeah.
Green elbow pads. Bah.
The Lex Luger forearm, which is the worst move ever. So that was that match. Just a punch, and then that was it. And Excalibur saying "Governor" in a British accent. Governor. Up next was a promo with Miro, which made me sad because I love Rusev, and he's not Rusev anymore. He's just generic. Like I want the title. End of promo. Made me sad. So match number 4 was Dax Harwood versus Le Champion, which Jericho has the best AEW music. Like I love his entrance
Easily.
music for,
I was just
like,
about to say,
by far.
I want to go to a show just to sing that song live.
I mean,
I know.
Call me dumb,
Yeah.
I don't care. You know, like, yeah.
I
It's
would
always a
too
good
as
time.
well.
I've done it a
Yeah.
few.
have you seen the clip of the Cruise of Jericho?
Mm-mm.
You'll have to watch that. Look it up on YouTube. He comes out because it's his cruise.
Yeah.
At the time, he was champion with AEW.
Oh,
Comes
I have
out
seen
on.
that.
Yeah,
Everyone
he
just
walks
seen it.
out and everybody erupts and sings Judas.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
this is a big moment. His cruise, he's the champion. You know,
It's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, Jericho and Dax Harwood. So this match, so it is either a schmoz when the inner circle and the pineapple come out, and because that's what I'm going to call them now. Most of the time,
Right.
Mike Tyson, because he was the special enforcer in the match, just stood around wearing pink shorts and looking bored. But he does. So Cash Wheeler at one point gets a bat, and he goes to hit Tyson with him, and Tyson gives him a stiff jab. Did you guys catch that? Like,
Yeah.
like I thought he actually like almost broke Cash's
It's
jaw
stiff.
or something.
I feel like
It is stiff.
well, I feel it's hard for Mike to throw a working punch. I think.
Yeah.
You know, like this man has blasted people for decades. You know, now you
Yeah.
want
yeah.
to throw one, but make this one miss. You know,
Yeah,
like you know,
throw it gently with nothing behind it. It's like, no, he's gonna break someone's jaw.
right?
He's gonna make it good.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was basically the match. Like Schmal's on the outside, Tyson knocking out Cash Wheeler, and Jericho hitting the Judas effect for the win,
Mhm.
which is great. And up next, Kenny Omega gets the Elite back together, and they cut a typical heel promo,
Yep.
which was fine.
It was. We knew this was coming.
Yeah,
They have to. They have to.
I mean, how can you not? Like, especially when you turn the Young Bucks back to heels, like, of course there's going to be
Right.
the Elite gets back together. What is next? Oh, weird. Another squash match. This one with Chris Statlander, who's making her return. And yeah, she's a pretty girl.
Yeah, she's easy on the eyes, boys.
Yeah. Well, her jobber opponent wasn't bad either. I again don't know the name. I wrote Lady Jobber. Because that's what she was.
Lady
Also-
enhancement.
How does she get away with coming out to the Pixies? I would think that, does AEW pay for that song? Because she came out to "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies, which is awesome.
Okay, first of all, I didn't know this. This is interesting to me. Chris did, or the other girl?
Chris did.
Chris did. Okay,
Yeah.
I did notice. I don't feel like that was her old music. I feel like it might be some new music. So
I
maybe
don't think it was.
maybe she's a buddy with a pixie. I guess
with Frank Black or something.
You know.
I was digging the new theme song. I didn't realize it was new because of how long she was gone, but
Yeah.
I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
Where Is My Mind by the Pixies was the song. It's a great song. It's at the end of Fight Club.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Little trivia.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so squash match, Supernova, Pile Driver, super safe. 1, 2, 3. It was fine. Up next, so we have a promo by Team Taz.
Yeah.
He looks like a piece of bubble yum. Like the way he's very bubble yum-ish, and he had his FTW hat on, and it looked like orange bubble yum.
Yeah.
Which poor Taz. But he talks to Christian about joining Team Taz, and Christian says no, and it's about all that is. So then, so match number 6, which so it's Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin, Which, Primo, you talked about Darby Allin a couple of weeks ago, and I'm on board with Darby Allin. Like I was kind of like on the fence before, but now I'm like, yeah, he's awesome.
This was good. This was a good match.
It was a things happen match.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of stuff happening. Everyone comes out. Matt Hardy's family comes out, and then Sting comes out, and I popped like a child when Sting comes out. I'm like, which Schiavone calling it's always great. But I always want to see Sting, but I don't want to see Sting do things, if that makes any sense. Because then you're just
stand there, point the bat.
Yeah, like come out in your cool crow face paint.
Yeah.
But don't like try and do a stinger splash, because then everyone's reminded that you are in fact a balding 65-year-old man, and it's just no good.
Going a little higher and higher.
I know, like the face paint starts like right here.
Yeah. I like it though because I feel like he wants to kind of go out on his own way. I guess like not
to give the fans one last hurrah that he didn't get to years ago.
Sure, and maybe he can go over. Hey, there's a concept. Let's let Sting win. Let's not go in WWE and put him with Triple H. He's not winning that match. Yeah, Brock.
Have NWO come out, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
that made no sense.
Yeah.
Sting hated the NWO. Anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
Bothering me.
We don't talk about that.
Finish of this match though was pretty cool because Darby Allin got Hardy on a table, climbed up a little scaffolding thing, and it had to have been a 20-foot coffin drop, which is basically a trust fall. It's hard to see Darby Allin do that and not be like trust fall.
I just wanted him to go out trust fall,
and then it was cool though. Like the way he hits it looks painful, and then that was the end of the match, and then so they tease a little Darby Allin Sting partnership, which I'm all for. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but that's AEW from last Wednesday. Look forward to tonight.
Awesome, sounds great.
Yeah, it was moving the needle. Moving the needle kind of episode. I think next week. They're going to start the fallout of Team Taz, I think, or at least the part of Cage getting out, I think, because he's going to wrestle the other dude, the other big guy there. So, all right, AEW. So, all right, guys. So, Impact. This was the first night they moved to Thursdays. So, we start right off with a match. Josh Alexander, TJP. A back and forth match. These guys are going to be in a triple threat match with Ace Austin versus Ace Austin at Rebellion, which is coming up this Sunday, actually. So I'll talk about more on that in a second. But Josh Alexander makes TJP tap out to an ankle lock. Then after that, they go back to showing Jazz being retired by Deonna Purrazzo. That leads to something that's going to come up later. Access TV then promotes a commercial, which I thought was pretty interesting. They're going to be showing the old Impact pay-per-views, old Impact and TNA. Looks like, regular shows on like kind of off days, Saturday during the days and that kind of stuff. Because I have my DVR set to record it. Sometimes I'll go to watch it and there'll be like 2 or 3 Impacts and they showed like Hard to Kill from 2006 or... whatever those ones were with Kurt Angle and all those guys. But anyway, so they're going to be showing more of those. Next out, the Good Brothers against Decay, which is back together. Crazy Steve and Rosemary. And now they have, I think his name is Black Taurus. Have y'all seen this human?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. Yeah.
It's a bit of a... just monster. He's a monster.
Yeah. He's a Lucha Libre. I don't know legend yet, but he's a AAA guy that's come over. So anyway, he's in Decay. Carl Anderson wins with a spine buster. Also, kind of sets up for later on. And then right after that, they go. Impact's been doing these things where they cut to the back and like everybody's talking all at the same time. and all this kind of stuff. Well, this time, for whatever reason, if you guys remember Petey Williams, a while back, you remember a long time ago, he was like Scott Steiner's little protege. You know, you remember he had, all right. So they did like a flashback like to that, but it wasn't a flashback. It was actually happening, and Petey was doing Steiner math. Yeah, so it was good, man. He had the chain going. He was going, so 33 and a third, So it goes to him. It shows him doing this for like 30 seconds and then cuts away. Probably the funniest part of the whole show, man. Had me dying laughing. I wanted to watch him keep doing it. So anyway, so Jazz comes out. This is going to be her retirement speech. The Impact Women's Champions, knockouts they call them, Fire and Flavor come out, and they talk about, you're washed up, all this kind of stuff, and then so then they drag them in the ring, impromptu tag match. Jordan Grace is tagging with Jazz against these two. Well, Jazz goes out with a win. All the wrestlers surround the ring, give her a send-off. She's officially done. Tommy Dreamer gets in the ring, thanks her for coming back, that kind of stuff. So anyway, so this is the send-off for Jazz. Next up, we got kind of a mano-a-mano between Brian Myers and Zach Cardona, a.k.a. I said Zach Cardona, Zach Ryder, a.k.a. Matt Cardona. So they're going to pick, they're going to pick, they're going to pick opponents for each other. So Myers is up first. Cardona picked Jake something for him to wrestle. And then Myers wins pretty easy with what he calls the roster cut, which is basically just a hard clothesline. But he calls it the roster cut. So I thought that was kind of funny. So anyway, so Cardona comes out. He's like, oh, yeah, well, I don't know who you're going to, put up against me, but, I'm going to beat everybody, whatever. So Myers says, well, you've never beat this guy, blah, blah, blah. And out comes Sami Callihan, beats the crap out of Cardona. Package pile driver. This thing's over, man. 1, 2, 3, done. Sammy not squashes him, but pretty close. He got a little bit in, but so I don't understand that. So anyway, package pile driver. Trey Miguel comes out, talks to Sammy. They're trying to form a team, and then Sammy low blows Trey. So they set up for a last man standing match at Rebellion on Sunday. So getting to the end of the show, Finn Juice comes out. They cut a big promo. They got the tag team titles on. They're like, we're coming back from Japan. We'll be there at Rebellion. Good brothers. We're going to smash you, all this stuff. And then so we head to a makeshift press conference between Rich Swann and Omega. So it starts off, Omega's not even there. So they come in fashionably late. They got suits on. They're looking fresh. Callis is right there. He's popping off. He tells Josh, I can't think of his name, Josh, anyway, to get out of there. So he leaves. So Callis is there. He talks for a minute. Omega comes up there, and he's like, I love this. This is what I do. I make these kind of matches. You're only here because of me. And he goes, this was great, man. This was great. He goes, so they're all looking fresh, right? Fly suits, looking good. And Omega goes to Swan. He goes, this is how important this is to me. He goes, this is probably your biggest match of your career, right? And Swan's like, yeah, probably. He goes, well, you decided to wear a members only jacket to the press conference.
Oh, poor Swan.
Yeah, so and he goes, "This is how serious I take it. Look at me. I'm the role. I'm all that." So anyway, so what happens at press conferences right before pay-per-views?
Of course,
yeah. Pull parts.
Pause.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. So they going at it. It rolls off. They start rolling off. This Sunday is the pay-per-view. AEW Impact together for it's going to be called Rebellion. So be interested. I will let you guys know all the happenings for that. So, all right. So, just okay. No way, Swan wins. But yes
What
way.
if he does though?
Oh, that would be a huge, you swear. But yes way though, Omega wins, right? I think they put both titles on Omega. What do you think? That's my guess.
I don't see Swan beating Omega, especially with how they've been building Omega on both brands. Because this isn't the first time he's wrestling over there.
Right.
So I think it'll be Omega going over Swan. Add to
Yeah.
their ego of what they got going on in the Elite.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like I see what makes sense with putting the belt on Omega. Like if you're Impact, you'd be like, oh yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you want Omega as your champ? But in the same sense, they're going to have to get that belt back off of him at some point. So unless they come up with something screwy, yeah. I don't know.
Come up with something screwy. They always think of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Impact. That's what they do best.
Gotta find a way to protect both of their champions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And in like a no contest type situation.
Yeah, and, Wrestling 101, if, go home show right before Rebellion, they were all pulled apart. Thursday before that, Rich Swann wins in that, so he's standing tall. So here's another reason why I think Omega, comes up with a winner. So, but we'll see, man. I'll let you guys know next week. So real quick, just some notes about some indie shows coming up. AJ, I know you're familiar with this too. I was checking Iron Spirit Pro, our local. I think they're trying to get started back up soon.
They are actually. I sent them an email because I heard that they were trying to start, having house shows again, and I have yet to receive a response. Which
they kind of watch all their social media. So, but they're getting back up going. Also, SCI, the Scenic City Invitational, they hold it every year. It's usually right around Tennessee, Chattanooga area. This year, they're moving to a new venue for the tournament. Not a new venue, basically, but a new venue for the tournament. It's going to be held in Red Bank. So what it is basically 16 competitors from the Southeast. It's like the new up and comers. And some, sometimes they bring in old school guys. Not kidding you. I've been to this tournament 3 years in a row now. Last year, Too Cold Scorpio was there. Year before last, not last year, 2020, obviously, but year before that, Too Cold Scorpio was in the tournament. Duke the Dumpster Drosy was there. Like they go, it's fun. They go grab, and it's a 2-day tournament. Daniel Makabe won last time. It was freaking amazing. Yeah, so it's fun. So we're talking about me and Primo's going to that for sure. So every week they announce a new participant. So that's getting picked up. AAW out of Chicago, they're still running their live shows on Twitch right now. So, and then basically just a lot of people getting started back up with their shows. Not a lot of titles changing hands at the moment. So I think the last time a title was changed that was big was AJ Gray beat Warhorse for the independent title. But other than that, it's basically been nothing else title-wise anyway. So, all right, so Primo's going to line us up here with SmackDown from last week, Raw, and then NXT. So, all right, Primo, you got your vocal cords ready, buddy?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, so SmackDown first from last week. So this would have been SmackDown after Mania.
Yes, sir. So it's our first SmackDown after Mania this past Friday. We had the debut of the new newest member of the announce team, Pat McAfee. They announced him right away at the beginning of the show, and he did a phenomenal job the whole time. He was really good. I like him. In fact, I like him more than the guy on Raw.
Adnan Virk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So our show opener was Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out. He arrives to a very, very warm welcome.
Acknowledge me.
Just kidding. It wasn't warm at all. He was getting booed hardcore. Basically, yeah. He even had the "Acknowledge Me" shirt, which I need one of them. I got to get me an "Acknowledge Me" shirt. That'll be sick. He's talking about what he accomplished at WrestleMania. Paul Heyman reiterates how many championships are held between Edge and Daniel Bryan, and how Roman Reigns walked out of WrestleMania, but the other two did not. So we kind of saw this happening. We talked about it last week. Out comes Cesaro.
Yes.
So Cesaro comes out. Swiss Superman comes out. Yeah.
I hate that arm thing.
And basically, as he comes out, Roman Reigns kind of just like brushes him off. Not worth my time.
Yeah. Didn't even let him get the mic in his hand. He walked off.
It was like,
good.
okay. He's like, all right, see you later, scrub.
Yeah.
And then walks out. So after commercial break, backstage, Cesaro goes to Adam Pearce and requests a match with Reigns same night. Well, before Adam Pearce could even talk, her name just slipped my mind. But she says, "Oh, we'll go ahead and arrange that." So we'll talk to him, and then fast forward. We'll move back to that later. Fast forward, we get some in-ring action between Otis and Rey Mysterio. It's coming off of more of their tag team stuff from the previous week with the Mysterios and Alpha Academy. Rey Mysterio ends up defeating Otis, and the Mysterios walk out of there victorious.
Poor Otis.
Yeah.
He's losing he lost his partner. He's losing.
They turned him heel.
He lost Mandy. He lost the briefcase, boys. He lost the briefcase. God dang.
Everything.
Poor fella,
What
man.
does he even have anymore?
Gable.
Yeah, his Gable. He's wheeling ready and Gable.
He's got this
Willie, Reddy, and Gable.
Yeah.
Poor Gable.
First of all, I was not a fan of the Shorty G thing.
No,
I like Gable, but I did not like Shorty G.
in ring, but man, some of the situations and things they put him through,
Yeah,
have not helped at all.
Just feel
I
bad
really
for the
liked
guy.
American Alpha. Yeah, him.
I did too.
Yeah,
Like really, really like
him.
Yeah.
But then they made him Kurt Angle's son, and then he got hurt. Now Gable's just
Well,
Gable.
Gable.
There.
What was his name? Oh shoot! I just
I can't think of it.
Kurt Angle's son,
yeah. Jason
Jordan.
Yeah, Jason Jordan. I was
So,
gonna say Jason Alexander, but
It was Gable got hurt, and then they went single with Jordan, and then the whole thing, and then he got hurt with the knee. Gable comes back. They have nothing to, so.
It's like back and forth, staggered.
They were starting that story too, and starting to get anywhere with it. Like so,
It was.
what possibly
It went down in flames so bad. If they would have went with Gable as the son, which was what all the dirt sheets were kind of thinking, I think it would have went a little differently. Just because he was actually in the Olympics, So
We officially have a fifth guest on the pod. Tyler, or just his cat, is currently
just cat.
talking a little wrestling. Yeah,
Look,
it's Miss Kitty. It's Miss Kitty.
where's the taco hat? So moving forward, backstage, we're coming off of that Cesaro request for the match. Backstage, Paul Heyman cuts the promo. Says that at WrestleMania, you thought that they had a rain delay, but really it was tears. it was tears of everybody crying about what Roman Reigns was going to do to Daniel Bryan and Edge.
What a stupid line.
Yeah. So he he says that Cesaro is going to be able to get a chance to prove himself, except not against Reigns. He has to do it against Jey Uso. So that match was announced as the main event. Right after that, we get Sami Zayn in the ring talking more conspiracy stuff. Talks about how Logan Paul was his friend, and he was too busy in the match worrying about was Logan Paul happy? What was he thinking over there? Was it all that stuff, and how basically he was screwed in that match, just like any other match, and that Logan Paul's brain was poisoned by everybody. Out comes Kevin Owens, and they end up having a match. Well, Kevin Owens is beating the tar out of Sami Zayn, stomping the mud hole, and Sami hightails it up the ramp, gets counted out on purpose. KO wins via count out, but Kevin Owens runs down to that ramp, grabs him, throws him back in the ring, stuns him, and then walks out. Doesn't let him. Doesn't let that stand. Gets a hold of him.
So is that the blow off to the feud now? Finally, like, can they both go on and do it? Or are they just going to keep?
Oh, definitely
keep
not.
going?
Zayn's insane. He's not.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I was thinking about this when I was watching it because there's gonna be a way. There's gonna be a time when he's got to return back to normal, right? Because he's a great babyface.
Yeah.
And how are they gonna do it? Are they gonna send him to a facility to the loony bin? Are they going to, or is he just going to be off TV for a little bit and then come back repackaged as himself?
Like a Seth Rollins kind of thing.
When they have to go through their therapy.
Right? Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
Or maybe they bring in like a legend or something to
bring in. What was that dude's name? Dr. Shelby.
Dr. Shelby.
Yeah.
He was Sasha Banks and Bailey's doctor too, right?
Yeah. So afterwards, we talked about him last week. I forgot what you said his name was, Dirty, that you knew him by before. But Apollo introduced us to Commander Aziz, the Nigerian Nail.
Yeah, it was Baba Tunde.
Yeah.
Baba Tunde.
It was Baba Tunde. Yeah.
So we now have a name to the big man. He's Commander Aziz, also known as the Nigerian Nail. Does the old Umaga.
Yeah.
And that was his introduction to us as the audience. Moving on, we have Street Profits coming out. They come out in all blue, but red solo cups still shot from the ceiling, so I thought that was interesting. But the reason they did that... Right, they also had blue cup in hand.
Yeah.
And they didn't really tease it before until they got there, was they were actually doing a celebration for Bianca Belair. So when they come back, Bianca's there, she's getting her celebration in, and basically tells them, you got to do what you got to do, go beat the Dirty Dogs for the tag team titles because their match is up next. Dirty Dogs come out, they have their match, and they defeat Street Profits. No titles for them. Dirty Dogs, Ziggler, Rude, the glorious Robert Roode, still tag team champions. That's one of the best theme songs.
I hated it, honestly. It's so
I love it. And
really? You hated it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get into that one.
I like that.
I heard it. I loved it instantly.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty good, actually.
Exactly.
I missed with the spin around and.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we still have the women's tag team championships on Nia and Shayna. And they had a singles match between Natalya and Shayna. There was a distraction by Mandy and Dana, which caused Nia to run up the ramp, Shayna to lose the match. After the match, though, a little bit of maybe tension between Nia and Shayna could cause a little potential friction. So, moving on to the main event.
They've been doing this since the beginning, really.
We're using this for so long now.
They're two heels.
Right.
Constantly threatening, the breakup angle.
Way longer than I thought it would have.
Right. Oh God, yeah,
They're
definitely.
gonna have a feud that no one cares about at all because
Yeah.
it's Nia Jax.
Right.
Or Dana and
Ow,
Mandy
my
win the
hole!
titles, and then Naomi and Lana win the titles.
And Shayna
Yeah.
gets to go singles.
Yeah.
She should have been this entire time.
Right. And then main event, we have Cesaro and Jey
Boy.
Uso. Right. So they had their match. It was a good match, but right when you think that maybe there's going to be a finish, out comes the Friday Night Messiah himself, Seth Rollins, attacks Cesaro. He says it is not over until he says it's over.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool, I thought.
So just when you think Cesaro is going to be in the title picture, which he defeated Jey Uso technically due to the DQ,
Mhm.
but Rollins is in the mix because of their feud. So we'll see where that goes.
Is that
That's
still
how
a
they-
thing? I missed that. Is this? Burn
Yeah,
It
so
Down still?
yeah,
they
he
just
does
brought
everything.
His theme song.
Yeah,
He still does Burn It Down. That's such a baby.
he does the
face.
Messiah thing and Burn It Down together.
WrestleMania was when they first actually put it back on the theme song, and it's
Yeah.
since.
Oh, okay.
No,
But
sense to
anyway,
me.
that's how they closed out SmackDown was with Rollins saying it isn't over.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yes, Rollins Cesaro matches will be awesome. Do I want to watch it again? No. Let's do. We've seen it. Let's do.
I thought that match was a great way to end it off. Cesaro
I did too.
Rollins
Yeah.
didn't be put over any more than he has been.
Right.
It's a good
Right.
lesson for Cesaro to finally get to that main event picture, which I think all of us feel like he should have been in a long time ago.
Yes.
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
He finally gets pushed in there, and then Rollins immediately comes.
I don't
Made me
see
hate
that.
Rollins a little bit.
Is Rollins a bad thing? No, he's great at everything he does, but I don't think he's needed in this anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless there's some kind of stipulation where, well, he's trying to get Roman's attention. So are they going to do this thing where Cesaro is going to beat up a bunch of guys for a couple weeks? You know, he might have to actually win a number one contenders match to make it legit for Roman to acknowledge Cesaro as as the number one contender. I mean,
Maybe,
I don't know,
maybe
man.
that could be the end between the Cesaro and Rollins feud. Is have him do a number one contenders match, and then push Cesaro into the main event, just to kind of be done with the whole Seth Rollins thing.
Yeah. All right, Primo, let's go to Raw, man.
moving on. Monday Night Raw. Show opener. Drew McIntyre opens up the show, comes out, talks about how he became the number one contender. He basically says he came out last week talking about it. Out comes Braun, out comes Randy. They had a triple threat. He won. After that, he starts discussing T-Bar and Mace's attack from last week. Says that he thinks MVP is behind it. Well, MVP comes out and tells Drew to expect the unexpected. And as he's doing that, Drew keeps asking him, or if he's a part of it. But MVP keeps kind of not answering. He keeps deflecting, and then he just straight up denies at one point. Right as he's getting under Drew's skin, Drew starts walking towards him. He said, "Well, if they're not with you, then what's to stop me from walking to you?" So he starts walking towards him. Right about the time he gets out of the ring, Mason T-Bar jumped the rail and basically jumped Drew McIntyre, attack him all over again.
And then they lost their mask, right?
Right,
Yeah,
they do. They were in a match later on.
During the match.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
But yes, that does happen. Next up, we had. I feel like we had this last week. I have to look at my notes. Viking Raiders defeat Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so it was a double match. Okay, I got
Yeah.
very confused.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
came back out and beat him again. So, which I'm just like, okay.
I want to keep burying Shelton and Alexander farther and farther down.
The thing is, I like Cedric and Shelton. In fact, I think they'd be good as champions, tag champions.
Hey, we've all loved Shelton forever, man.
Exactly. I think Shelton. Yeah, he was back in the day. He was a great IC champ.
Yeah,
and he's always been a great tag champ. So it's like
I feel like he's been airing Shelton ever since he came back.
I know we've heard this a lot about a lot of wrestlers over the years, but he's just one of those guys, man. He's in that category of if he could talk, if he could pipe, man.
The golden standard.
That's like Cesaro's problem this whole entire time too. He's not the best on the mic. Plus, I cannot get behind Bing Bong and Vigor or whatever the Viking Raiders names actually are.
Eric and Ivar.
Yes,
no, they're whatever AJ said.
Bing Bong and Goover. Those guys. Great.
And stuff like Shelton Benjamin makes me think like, okay, it was probably good Carlito never came back full time because the same thing would have happened to him, and I like him too.
I know.
But when Carlito did come back for the Royal Rumble, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
I was like, "You got it?" He's like, "I was like, that's not cool."
But he looks great.
He's freaking jacked now. He's huge.
Yeah, and
back then he's huge. He's ripped.
Yeah, he looked good.
Anybody that gets fired from WWE, they leave for a while. They come back super ripped. So, Drew McIntyre, freaking.
The other guy,
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal. I was about to say the other guy from 3MB.
It's like when that old girlfriend. It's like when that old girlfriend breaks up with you, man. You go hit the gym. You
go back hit the gym.
Yeah, that way the next time you see him, you want to be jacked and looking all good with your fresh new girlfriend on your arm. You know what I mean? So that's
Except for Heath Ledger, he didn't care.
Jet Dryer says that I dropped my pin, which you know what, I did drop my pin, but you know what, I didn't drop, Jet Dryer. This beautiful Kurt Angle trophy right here. Everybody can take a good look at it because yours truly is the Kurt Angle champion. Look at it, admire it, and soak it in, man. So, moving on.
I didn't drop my pen.
Moving on.
I fell asleep there for a second. My bad.
Moving on to this part. So, this I actually was, which I think, I know some people think that Riddle is dumb, but I thought this segment with Randy Orton and Riddle backstage was hilarious. I was laughing so much because he rolls up.
Predator.
Yeah, he goes, "What's up, bro? You like my scooter, bro? We'd be a great tag team, RK, bro." I was like, "This is amazing," because Randy Orton's like, "I'm gonna kill this kid."
You see in his eyes, you just wanted to snap him right there.
Yeah,
yes, like he really, really did.
Yeah. So basically, that's what happens. He goes to Pierce. He said he's like, "Who's that kid? The kid that rides the scooter? The kid with the blonde, long hair? I want to match with that guy."
Right. Like I missed his name the whole 6 months he's been here.
Yeah. So Randy was playing the grumpy old vet there.
It's gonna make me angry when Randy Orton finally makes me start liking Riddle because their whole entire thing this show was great. And I'm not a Riddle fan. I'm just not. I'm almost on board. It bothers me.
So they did end up having a match, but before they had a match, we had the Queen come out, Charlotte. Charlotte comes out, cuts a promo on the whole women's roster. The Queen says she could beat Rhea and Asuka in the same night if she wanted to.
That's right, she would.
And she could. I believe it. Yeah.
Twice.
So, and basically, Asuka and Rhea both come out, and they talk about how Asuka is going to lose to Charlotte later on tonight, and the Queen says to Rhea to bring her pretty little self, sit by the ring, and watch it happen. And that after that, we go to commercial break. We come back. We do have the match between Riddle and Randy Orton. They had a great match.
Are they still doing the pigeons when the
yes.
I missed, okay.
Yeah. So
it was a great opening promo between Orton and Riddle and led into a great match.
Yeah, it was a great match.
It was good, other than the obvious injury to Orton's shoulder. That
man. History of
shoulder injuries.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Not looking great.
Yeah,
What do
you know
guys think of
he.
that ending though.
So basically, what the ending after they turned each other's chest into hamburger meat,
I
they
know. God.
they Randy Orton sets up. He does the he's punching the mat, going for the getting ready strike the RKO. Goes through the RKO. Riddle counters with a crucifix pin.
That was great.
And ends up 1, 2, 3. Riddle wins, bounces out of the ring, and Randy does the like holy crap, he got me, like kind of situation, which leads me to this. As much as they're an odd couple, could Randy not wanting to like this guy so much end up making them a tag team?
Yes,
I'm not going to rule it out at this point. Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Fans would be on board with RK Bro.
RK Bro would be solid.
Yeah. I can see the shirt now. RK Bro.
Plus, really got the both of them rolling down to the ring with scooters. I picture scooter. That's all I need.
I picture Riddle constantly doing how Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, how Killian's always super serious. So it's like Randy Orton's just walking to the ring, and you get this idiot.
It's like the big giant dog and the little scrappy one running around.
Yeah. See, I can picture Randy Orton coming down on a scooter with no shoes on, like just wearing flip flops.
I want to see Randy riding Riddle's back on the scooter down the ramp.
He goes all in. He totally bros out.
Yeah, grumpy old Randy
with all
Orton.
the bro accent and giving all the lingo. Yeah.
So after Riddle gains Randy Orton's respect, the next match, another one with Nia and Shayna, where they lose to a different tag team this time, Naomi and Lana. So that ends up with another backstage scene where they're having a little more tension. Shayna is like, "You better watch yourself." Nia says, "Or what?" Which is the way she said it wasn't like, I don't know. Nia is a big chick, so it's like she could crush anybody. They're playing her like a giant, right? So she's like, "What are you gonna do?" But right after that, I wouldn't know if you would call it return because he just hadn't been on in a while. Andrew Garza, this stud shows up, and I didn't realize he's the same height as Nia, or Nia was the same height as him, but because I'm used to little short Reginald to stand next to her. He says, "What are you doing with a scrub like Reggie when you could be like with someone like me?" And kind of is what he says, and then just kind of goes off camera. So could be one of those things where he starts trying to win Nia over. Who knows?
I just want to see Garza in the ring. I think he's so good at when he's out there. Great. Another one, great on the mic, great in the ring. Just needs that push.
He's a stud.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, need that push. I like his little pants gimmick where he pulls the pants off.
Yeah,
it's stupid and simple, but
breakaway pants.
Yeah, it's stupid and simple, but it's good wrestling stuff. You know what I mean?
You never realize once your favorite wrestler retires and you just watch that you just appreciate the quality wrestling a lot of people give you.
Right. Yep. So Miss TV celebrates another their episode of Miss TV from last week. Then they start talking about Miss TV coming on after Monday Night Raw. And basically the same thing that happened last week happened this week with Damian Cross coming out, interrupting. Turns into them having a match. Later on, Damian Priest ends up defeating The Miz. Boring. I'm not into that. Not into that storyline. I like The Miz. I just don't like that storyline.
Yeah, me neither. Fast forward.
I've never been a Miz fan, and now I was just the whole time I was like I got that glazed look in my face, and I was just like,
I like The Miz, because of his real life story of being just a normal dude.
Sure.
Yeah, who, he's like a super wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a good heel, but a segment starts out where he's sitting, in the ring with Maurice, Maurice is nice to look at too, but that's all I can. Fast forward button after that for me, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like just an instant skip.
Yeah.
Surprise upset of the night for me. Elias defeated Kofi Kingston.
What was that about? Clean.
I mean, now I'll say that freaking elbow drop is a thing of beauty. But
it was macho-esque.
I did not see it coming though. Him winning.
I think it's time, man. Everybody's been putting the New Day over for a long time, man. It's time they put some other guys over. Elias, I feel like I'd watch him. What's that?
Changing the guard coming along here. New Day.
Yeah.
Some people over.
Yeah.
Okay. I see that.
Which I'm okay if it's Elias too.
I'm all right with it. I've been fine with
Elias.
He's taken a lot of losses, and it was a good pickup win for him on Raw.
Yeah. He's been just a gimmick for a while. Let's be a wrestler.
I always felt like he would make a good workhorse champion. So he'd be IC champion for like a while. He would do it great. I don't like his gimmick, his drifter gimmick as a world champion.
No, it wouldn't work as he would have to change his gimmick up to actually move up to the top of the card.
He almost might be trying to do that. He's been running this gimmick for a long time now.
Yeah, that's true. Well, since he came up to the main roster.
Right. So maybe he changes to something gritty, something where he unleashed, Anyway, so moving on from that, we have Alexa's Playground. She says that last week she introduced us to Lily, the little stuffed doll. This week she tells us about her lifelong relationship. Tells us a story about who wants to walk with Elias. She tells us a story I do miss the fans doing that. But tells a story about how when she was younger, she pushed this little girl, and basically Lily told her to do it. And that's all the bad things she's ever done was Lily has told her to do it. And guess what? She basically put the whole women's locker room on notice and said, Lily doesn't like any of you. So maybe
I don't know if this doll is creepy or funny to me.
Return to action maybe for Alexa. So
yeah. Creepy eyes and all.
Oh yeah, and the stupid little bite thing it does at the end. Yeah, exactly. So we had the match the match made earlier in the night with Mason T-Bar and Drew McIntyre. Drew went out and he wanted to be Rambo and basically challenged him to a 2-on-1 handicap match. Adam Pearce advised against it, but Drew insisted and made it happen. Basically, the whole match, Mason T-Bar are getting over on Drew. Then eventually out comes Braun Strowman. So Braun Strowman, because Mason T-Bar were kind of going, they were going ballistic on Drew at one point. Yeah. And Braun Strowman comes out, Strowman Express, choo-choo, woo, comes out, and they turn to a tag match. A tag team match, player.
Let's make this a tag team match.
The Undertaker. Anyway, it turns into a tag team match, and the way it ends is both T-Bar and Mace's mask get ripped off their faces, and then they get beat with them. So
I love that spot. I thought that was
nice. So they get beat with their own masks to the point to where they get Braun and Drew get disqualified, and that's how Mason T-Bar ended up winning. We see now, which we all knew, it was Dijakovic and Dio Madden. So hopefully they change their name to Dijakovic and Dio Madden.
Right. It's Dijakovic and Dio Madden.
I missed the matches with Dijakovic and Keith Lee. Anyway,
I'll miss T-Bar though if T-Bar goes away, and Slapjack.
Slapjack. That was one of those Australian wrestlers, right? He was one of the
Flapjack?
I'll be honest. That's one of the ones I don't know the identity of.
Yeah, he was in NXT. Him and another guy were tag team. I can't remember his name. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to come up with it. I'll look. Go ahead.
So after that, we have earlier in the night, Adam Pearce calls Sheamus to his office, says congrats on winning that U.S. championship, but every great U.S. champion has always done the open challenge. And Sheamus says, well, I don't care about every other U.S. champion. I'm going to be my own champion. But you know what? I'll do it. But it's not going to be for the championship. So he goes out there and does his open challenge, talks about how, he fellows this and fellows that, and ends up having a competitor come out who ends up being Humberto Carrillo. Before the bell can even ring, Sheamus whoops this dude all over.
Yeah,
he does.
He's so cool out of this dude, man.
Yeah. So basically, he put any open challenger on notice, saying, this is what's going to happen to you if you come out to try to challenge me for my championship. I'm going to beat the tar out of you. Main event, Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. We had a good match. The Queen, her usual self, until Rhea started. Because Rhea was ringside. She comes up to the ring apron, gives a little assist, and Asuka ends up winning the match. Well, post-match, Charlotte Flair comes unglued.
Yeah.
She destroys the referee and basically gets this psychotic twinkle in her eye. And the other refs have to pull her away. She starts to walk out, comes back, beats the ref again, starts to walk out, comes back, and whoops on the ref again. She does this multiple times to make it really almost seem like too much. Like
just beating what up initially would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought for sure she was just going to be like, screw it and beat all three of them up. But
that too. Just throw the one guy, throw them at each other, beat them all up.
Right. So anyway, Charlotte came unglued, and that's how we ended the night. Was her just unhinged.
Yeah. So a lot of ways they can go with this. We're going to talk about that here shortly. But to answer your question, Shane Thorne, this is Slapjack. I don't know if you can see.
Oh yeah, I see.
Okay.
He was in a tag team called The Mighty with Nick Miller in NXT.
Nick Miller.
Yep, so, all right, so that will wrap up all the recaps.
Monday Night Raw. No, we have. Speaking of NXT, we got NXT.
Oh yeah.
Oh, totally forgot. That was just last night. That's the last one I watched.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the last one I watched as well. So we had NXT on Tuesday night. A little rowdy, toast to rowdy, sour apple.
A little rowdy time.
Oh, we're empty. Got to change it out.
Yeah,
I like this chiseled ice. It's like being punched in the face with an iceberg.
These rowdies really helped me get through these three recaps.
One per show.
Running rowdy on Friday night.
So exactly. Show opener. We had Mr. Air Guitar himself, Kyle O'Reilly, come out. He arrives with his hat and his shades on. Says he's in a good mood. Says that he's in a good mood. Why? Because he defeated Adam Cole, and it's behind him, and Adam Cole is nowhere near him at that moment. He says that he found his killer instinct, and that he starts talking about what's next for him, which is basically a singles run. Got to mow down the roster to get to the champ. He talks about, should I go for the Workhorse Championship? Should I go for Karrion Kross? Basically leaves it a mystery as to which direction he's going to go, but definitely says he is going to start chasing a title soon. Which I think is... Do you think it's too soon for him to be back? After that war he was in just like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think they should have kept him off for a couple 2 more weeks.
Especially because they showed him last week. They showed the footage of him and not being wheeled in the hospital with Adam Cole.
Yes.
Like that, you got to keep him off TV at least for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Or he's
not just in.
Or he's got to come to the ring really slow, walking really beat up, like he needs to be selling it.
The ring like Batista did in the wheelchair, all wrapped up.
Right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Give me what I want.
Give me what I want.
Comes out, no music, no pyro. So while he's cutting his promo, talking about what he wants to do with his life, Cameron Grimes comes out, interrupts Kyle O'Reilly.
Moon.
Yeah, talks about exactly.
Cameron Grimes.
Talks about cool Kyle, Cameron Kyle. He says, me and you, cool Kyle, we can do all this, and he basically says he can promote him, and they could work together. And Kyle's like, I saw the guy I was gonna be fighting against earlier tonight, and he's like, oh, not here, not here. Cool Kyle hits Cameron Grimes in the face, says, oh yeah, he's right there. So they end up having a match later in the night. Next up, we had L.A. Knight come in and defeat Dexter Lumis. But he defeats Dexter Lumis because Indy Hartwell was there ringside, and she was basically a distraction for Dexter. He seemed concerned about her. He kept his eyes on her. He didn't want to basically, because at one point she falls, so he seemed real concerned about her. And that led to him losing the match against LA Knight.
Yeah. Man, I love this, what they're doing with LA Knight. Like he's walking out of the locker room, he's talking to the camera.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming out, he's like, let me talk to you. Rah, 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 rah. He's turning around, he's looking, he's pointing. I love, man, this, I'm all in when this dude's talking.
Yeah. I do like the way he's like, it's almost like, be quiet when LA Knight's talking,
Right,
which I like. Yeah. So after that match, Indy and Lumis were about to have a moment. Indy was perking up for the kiss, and the way comes out, pulls her off the apron, drags her backstage. So that could not happen because they're totally against this whole thing. Yeah.
This is a big work. The way is going to swerve Lumis somehow.
Right. You think so?
Yeah. This is a big plan.
Afterwards, we had an in-depth interview with Beth Phoenix, Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix interviews Io Shirai. Io Shirai says that what's next for her is rest because she defended the championship for so long. She just wants to chill, recuperate, rest, and come back healthy. But before she could end the interview, Frankie Monet comes in and interrupts. And
Where I Loca.
So
Frankie
she
Monet
comes in and basically says,
Johnny Drip Drip's wife.
I will.
Yep, old Johnny Drip Drip.
Johnny Drip Drip. Where was he Monday? He wasn't there.
He was getting his hair re-puffed.
He was getting he's getting his Billy Ray Cyrus back on. So
yes.
Okay.
Re-slicked and re-puffed.
Golly, man.
Extra volume.
Wild.
Anyway, she says, thanks for, while you take a rest, I'll go ahead and fill your shoes on top of the women's division. And basically, snarky comment says, your shoes suck anyway. Ends. She pisses Io off, obviously. And we'll see where they go with that. Io may not actually take a rest.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Breezango in a match with GYV, Grizzled Young Veterans. Yeah. I knew Dirty would do it.
As you're
very soon. They said this time. They said very soon.
Yeah, very soon. Man, he's put the titles on these boys.
GYV defeats Breezango.
I don't know the bald dude's name, but he needs a singles run, man. That dude can go and he can talk.
Mm-hmm. Right afterwards, continuing with this whole thing with the way, backstage they're trying to interview Indy about Dexter, and the way just keeps no, we're not talking about this. We're not going to talk about it. And that's that. Moving on, we had the debut of Saray, which they showed a clip earlier in the day of Zoe Stark basically requesting a match with her before she could even get into the arena.
That's a big Japanese signing for them.
Right.
She's probably the biggest women's wrestler over there right now, popular wise. So stick her in there with Zoe, little baby face. Yep.
She did show up and she did perform well, and she defeated Zoe Stark. After that match, Tony Storm comes out and attacks Zoe Stark. See where that's going. Could be a future angle to keep going.
Well, Tony's a better heel, and Zoe's obvious baby face. So,
right,
this will be a good
yeah. Feud. We had more of the indie stuff backstage. Her and Candice LeRae were walking together. They're basically Candice is saying, to get your mind right as they were walking through. Then you see, pretty sure it was Dexter Lumis behind a glass door, and then Candice keeps walking, and Indy stays behind, goes through the door. Next thing you know, Candice runs into Shotzi and Ember by herself, and ends up in the wrong side of the locker room and gets jumped. So that ends up basically where they come back later on and show where Candice is all messed up, and Indy's like, "Hey, what happened?"
Right? Yeah.
Okay, I completely missed this section. How did I take a nap or have a stroke while this was going on? You totally missed it.
Yeah,
it was a pretty quick segment.
I mean, it was like the quick backstage thing they did.
Yeah.
Kushida comes out with an open challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship. Time Splitter. So he's still Time Splitter.
Yeah.
Now he's not. Splitter. Now he's not Marty McFly.
No.
He went back to Trunks. Okay. So he's good in the ring. I'm trying to figure out the gimmick. Oney Lorcan comes out, and basically they have a good match, and Kushida gets him in the Kimura and makes him tap.
Oni's going to be the next Cesaro, man.
Basically, they're so similar. Yeah,
they're very similar. Styles are similar.
They're like throwbacks,
Yeah.
So after the match, Legado del Fantasma comes out and attacks Kushida. But before things get too out of hand, MSK arrives and takes out.
Time out. Do we know what MSK means yet?
No, you know what? I messaged Wesley, and he just never got back to me.
Every time it's brought up, I'm going to bring it up until
one of these times I'm gonna have to Google it now.
Jess, do you know what MSK stands for?
Nope.
No clue. Yeah.
I can hear you typing, AJ.
Yes, AJ's typing. We're gonna put an end to this thing.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
We're gonna put an end to it. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna say what can the K mean? Club.
Koala.
Killers.
Yeah. Anyway, as AJ looks that up, we'll come back to it. Sorry to mean to interrupt you, Primo.
No, you're good. It's a good question. And like I said, I messaged Wesley. He just hadn't got back to me. He's a busy man these days. He's a tag champ. So moving forward, Ever Rise. To be honest, I'm not familiar with them.
Must see kids.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like on the side of a milk carton?
Wait, what does MSK stand for? Wrong answers only. Wrong answers only in the chat. What does MSK
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right. So
Imperium ends up defeating Ever Rise easily, might I add.
Yeah.
during that match, Killian and Drake come out. Drake, the little chihuahua that he is barking while Killian's basically carrying him to the back. Main event, we had Kyle O'Reilly defeat Cameron Grimes clean. Basically, it was a good match, but I thought for sure that there was going to be more to it. I thought maybe Adam Cole would come back at the end, but no, they just ended on that note. They announced next week we got Mercedes Martinez versus Dakota Kai and Bronson Reed versus Austin Theory. If Bronson wins against Austin Theory, he gets a North American title match. Plus, we had a tag team match. Players, Kushida and NSK versus Legado del Fantasma. And that is your WWE recap for the entire week.
Yeah, that was a big one, man. If anybody, yeah, there you go. Yeah, Mark singing karaoke is the best. My son Carl.
I just have like a whole list.
I don't even want to know what MSK really means now. I want to do this every episode.
This is going to be our new thing.
Karaoke.
Every segment, Mark singing karaoke.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
My son Carl.
All right, collect himself. Here we go. All right, so that's all. That's all the recaps, man. So, all right, here we go. Next up, we're going to pick Primo's brain, and what this is I'm going to throw out a question. But today, just in my fist, he's going to participate as well. All right, boys. So I'm going to give you the question. I'm going to show the graphic, and then we're going to come back, and you guys are going to answer. Here's the question today: who was the first wrestler you've seen in public? Who was the first wrestler you've seen in public? When you were young, or an hour ago, whatever. So, first one you've seen in public. All right, be right back. All right, Primo, who was the first wrestler you seen in public?
Jet Dryer. I will actually remember this because he was with me. Back in, what was this, Jet? Probably 2012, 2013. Not that. Although my wife has told me about that. However, me and Jet were in Austin, Texas, though, at a Longhorn game, and Undertaker was there. Big UT fan, hook 'em horns. My guy, The Undertaker, was there, along with, all right, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, nice. Jess?
About 3-4 years ago, I went to the Jericho concert and had the meet and greet, so got to talk to Chris, meet him. First time I ever got to see a wrestler at that point, and then that same night after the show, ran into Tommy Dreamer as well at the bar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he
Dreamer. Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we just like do this segment every week to see Primo's wrestling history. What's that, AJ?
Was Tommy Dreamer wearing a T-shirt when you met him?
Yeah, he was. He
A
was
black.
Of course he was.
Of course he was. He was at the show
That's all he wears.
because they had a House of Hardcore show the next night. So he was there supporting Chris, and then they were going to go do the show the next day.
Looking like a bag of potatoes.
All right.
And Jet reminded me Michelle McCool was there with Taker.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Had the wife there. Sweet. All right, guys. Well, next up is our drop kick discussion.
I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, ran into Tommy at the bar.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
It is a black T-shirt.
Yep.
Wearing his T-shirt.
Yeah.
Always wearing his T-shirt.
I think I've seen that before on Facebook.
It's true.
Or something.
That's a funny story. If that Jet just put into that story, me and him purposely skipped our cousin's wedding for that game.
Nice. Priorities right there, baby.
Yeah.
That's how you do
Wrestling number one. All right, guys, we're going to do our drop kick discussion next, but we're going to take about a minute and a half break.
Let's do it.
Hang tight. We'll be right back here. Main topic today, top 5 favorite factions. So we're going to get going on that shortly. Hang tight, guys. About a minute. We'll be right back. We're back here live. We're headed right into our main discussion, our dropkick discussion of the week. Main topic: top 5 favorite factions. So we're going to start at 5 and go all the way to 1. Just talk about the factions and brief history. So, AJ, start us off. Number 5 faction of your favorites.
So we spoke a little bit about Brutus the Barber Beefcake earlier, and so that plays right into Dungeon of Doom featuring the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan and Zodiac, Brutus the Barber himself.
I love
Like the whole thing, the whole entire thing was their whole thing was they wanted to defeat Hulkamania, and like they
For the greater good of the world.
the
Taking
whole thing
down-
was so stupid. And I loved it so much. And
Yeah.
like so if I ever get married, afterwards I'm going to get a Zodiac tattoo, Brutus Barber Beefcake as the Zodiac. That way I can be like, "Huh, idiot, you already married me. Like you can't. You're in this. I'm gonna get a Zodiac tattoo. Like I'm saving a spot right here.
there. Yeah.
This is where
Awesome.
Zodiac is gonna go. So that's my number 5. Just utter nonsense at its greatest.
Yeah, I will say this. Probably one I didn't think would be anybody's top factions today. I didn't think about
it's
that
so
for sure.
stupid.
What
I
up,
loved
Repeat?
it.
How's it going, man? We're just starting about our top 5 favorite factions. So from now all the way till whenever we started watching wrestling. Just to my fist, who's your number 5?
You know, when I was making up this list, I wanted to try and stay away from just the two-man teams, tag teams. I wanted to go with the groups. But at number 5 for me, especially growing up during this era of wrestling, was probably Evolution. Ric Flair, Triple H, Randy Orton, and all them. The name speaks for itself for what they were doing. The evolution of wrestling, and the tag team, the faction lasted for quite a long time and really built up Batista and Orton very well. With of course Triple H reigning with his iron fist as usual.
Yeah.
Ric Flair hanging over him, doing all the dirty work. It was a great time for wrestling to watch.
Yeah, good stuff. Primo, number 5.
Number 5 for me. So we got, it's a little newer. It's actually the only one from this past decade on my list. Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta, the Shield.
The Shield.
Which, honestly, they... weren't a big faction, but they were they made an impact during their run, and they had some great matches.
Yeah, I mean, like them and the Wyatts, man. I'll always say,
Yeah,
I love that feud was phenomenal. I love the setup power bomb. It was kind of like their thing. Nobody else was doing that. They were hot.
Yeah, man.
They were hot.
They took down just about every tag team that was around at that time, and even older tag teams that came back to try and stop them.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they even triple powerbomb The Rock. Yeah,
I think they did actually.
Yeah. I'm sure they did.
They took off. Yeah, they took out Evolution. Yeah.
All right. Well, number 5 for me. I'm going to be looking at a whole different era of wrestling than you guys are. And if y'all say y'all don't know who these guys are, I'm cutting off the stream. But for me at number 5, the Fabulous Freebirds, baby. Michael P.S. Hayes, Bam Bam Gordy, Buddy Roberts. They were the first ones to it that. Well, I mean, it's called the Freebird rule. Like any two.
That's why. That's what the New Day runs under now. Yeah.
Yeah. Any of the two out of the three. Yeah, can defend the titles at any time. They were the first ones to do that, man. So back in those days, they would defending the tag titles. The Freebird rule went a little farther in those days. It was Michael could be standing on the corner post. He would hop down. Bam Bam Gordy would jump up there mid-match, So that's how the whole Freebird rule kind of got going. So, they kind of had a fourth member in and out, nobody that stuck. It was basically those three. So for me, number 5, Fabulous Freebirds, UWF, AWA, 80s, early 90s. All right, number 4, AJ.
So, real quick, I am going to admit that the only reason why I know who the Freebirds are is because of the New Day. Anyways, so number 4 for me is I hate when this guy is included in any of my lists, but the Radicals. Radicals are number 4 for me. Yeah,
good one.
You have Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn, and redacted Chris Benoit.
Yep.
Like there hasn't been a more talented group of 4 guys like that could go in the ring anyways, and obviously Eddie is the best among them because he could talk and he could go in the ring. The other 3 were just awesome in the ring.
Latino Heat.
But which I thought about them too, but I was like, no. So yeah, the Radicals matches during that when they moved to WWE were like some of my favorite matches, and like anytime that Benoit and Eddie especially had any matches whatsoever, especially like when they had matches together, like feuding.
Yeah,
I always pop like.
You guys remember when they invaded, right? And they were doing the ladder spot. Eddie did the frog splash, and the camera was set up right on the mat. I can't remember who it was, and as Eddie come down, you could see his forearm separate. He broke it. And then he had the cast on for like the next couple months or whatever. But I always remember that about the debut. Awesome, man. The Radicals, nice. Next up, Gist, number 4.
This one might be a little controversial with how long they've been around and stuff like that, but I was actually decided to put the Inner Circle in there. To me, probably AEW's first big faction. And one that actually stands out. I don't consider the Elite their faction since that's been everywhere else. So, Inner Circle. So many good matches for AEW. They continue to put on great shows Wednesday night, and it's going to only continue from here. Especially with Jericho at helm, you never know.
Yeah, totally agree. Primo, number 4.
All right, number 4. See, I might catch some heat for this for how low they are on my list. But I'll tell you this. I grew up a WWF kid, not a WCW kid. But this faction, they are for life, brother, and they are too sweet. That's the NWO. Too sweet, me bro. But no, NWO, of course, I don't need to say anything about them. Everybody knows. They are one of the greatest of all time. They're just lower on my list because of the way I grew up.
Yeah, and in the land of factions, man, you got to throw them out there as possibly the greatest because what did Primo just say? Everybody knows what the NWO
Right.
was.
Everybody had an NWO shirt, so it's like, yeah.
They were the foundation of WCW basically at that time.
Right.
What made them.
Yeah, the Monday Night Wars happened because of NWO.
Because of NWO.
Eric Bischoff said during his Hall of Fame speech that, like, I think it was right when NWO first started, he had a trip in Japan, and he was already seeing NWO T-shirts.
Yeah, crazy. All right, well, for me at number 4, I bet a lot of people are going to have these guys a little higher. You know, it's on Just My Fists T-shirt. You know, for me, DX at number 4, you know, just for the Hall of Famers that were in it, the entertainment, the Attitude Era, you know, everybody X'd. You know, I got sent home from school because of a DX shirt. You know, I was cross chopping, you know, and like everybody else, you know, they were mainstream. Everybody knew who they were. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, X-Pac, you know, the New Age Outlaws. They had everything, man. They had the dominant figure in Triple H, the dominant tag team in the Outlaws, you know, like kind of a cruiserweight in X-Pac, China, one of the best women ever, you know, boom, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so number 4 for me, DX, you know, they invaded on a tank. Like, how awesome is that?
There in the early days.
Yeah. As part of it's kind of a manager type. So yeah, for me, DX at number 4. Now let's move to top 3. Let's start with Primo at top 3.
First of all, I want to. Jet just said I'm the 8th wonder of the world. I am not. He said I'm China. So my number 3, coming off of Dirty's number 3, you can't see it, but that says DX. DX is, you know, I just said I grew up a WWF kid. DX is actually one of the first. It was Triple H and Shawn in China was one of the first things I saw, wrestling wise, that got me into watching wrestling. So between Shawn and Triple H, and then you got the iteration with him and the Outlaws, tag team champions of the world.
Yeah.
In China and X-Pac. Then the return in 2006 with whenever Shawn kicked Spirit Squad, you know, that whole feud.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching that live and I popped because I knew. Because they were doing the whole thing for so long where Shawn and Triple H were feuding since Shawn returned. And they brought DX back. So they are my number 3 faction.
All right. Well, let's talk about this real quick. Great Silver Lion. Is that one of your buddies, Primo?
Yeah, I used to work with him.
Okay, so like I want to talk about his too. He's giving his top 5 real quick. Number 5, he's got a tie between Evolution and Undertaker's Ministry. Interesting. Number 4, this one's a big one, man. One of the biggest ones ever too. Bullet Club, you know. So that's at number 4. He's got number 3 as DX.
DX.
I'm better than Santina, not Santino, but Santina.
Santina.
Yeah.
Santina.
All right, just about this. Number 3, brother.
Number 3. Probably have to go with Heart Foundation.
Ooh,
good one.
Owen
and
Bill, Brett.
I have a feeling that's on somebody else's list too.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah, if Ziggy were here, it'd be on his top one for sure.
Yeah,
amazing. Everything they did. So sad with what happened to Owen, but the whole family, even to this day, you still have a heart in the ring.
Yeah.
Yep,
lid on.
Yeah. That, speaking of Owen and that incident, back to my This Day in History, that Backlash, that was another historical thing about that Backlash. That arena was the first time they were at that arena since the Owen incident.
Which was the Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri.
Right.
Yep.
I just recently watched that Dark Side of the Ring episode, and man, that was sad.
Yeah, as the area is as weird as it is, I've been to Kansas City one time. I went there. I was there for like 2 days. I passed the arena of Kemper. It's called something else now, I think, or something. But and that was what I thought of. And I was like, wow, that's where Owen died.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but all right, AJ, number 3.
So number 3,
0.
Husky Harris, the Wyatt family.
Whoa,
Number
nice.
3 for me.
Nice. Love it.
So Dirty, Bray Wyatt, I've always loved Bray Wyatt, but a huge Bray Wyatt mark. And then the bar that Dirty and I used to work at, 2 of the members of the Wyatt family came in and were just having lunch like normal people. And so we wait, you weren't there that day, were you, Dirty?
I was off that day. They came in for lunch.
So I got to meet Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman when he was still with the Wyatt family, and Heath Slater was there too, but no one really cared about Heath Slater. Poor Heath Slater.
He's got kids.
He does. He didn't bring him to lunch though. But so first of all, I got to meet him and they're just awesome. So I became even more of a Wyatt family mark. But everything, I like their whole like backwater swampy cult gimmick. Like Bray Wyatt to me is like the most creative person in wrestling, maybe ever.
Sure.
And then they had great feuds with people, like you mentioned the Shield earlier, like when Daniel Bryan joined for a little bit, and then he turned face again. That was one of the best face turns ever.
Yeah.
But I mean, even though Eric Rowan was kind of useless, like I always loved Luke Harper, loved Bray Wyatt, and Braun Strowman is. By the way, in the picture that I took with these guys, I look like a child. Like
AJ looks like this big.
I do. I like come up to Braun Strowman's nipple. It's
You're like, hi,
I
Dad.
look like a child.
Yeah,
it's terrible. But I love that picture. So
I believe it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, they look tall, so I believe that. Yeah,
that's definitely a great pick. I always thought Luke Harper was such an underrated wrestler. I saw him live a couple times.
I did.
He always had good shows.
Here's another thing too, man. The Gator Roll. It's been around for ages. I know. It's been around for ages, and it's like a move that nobody ever does.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying was crazy that not enough people do it.
Yeah, I just love that, man. You're watching him. I used to watch his matches. I mean, he was good, but just to watch that. So, all right. Well, for me, number 3, it's already been mentioned. Evolution. I love the gimmicks of the high dollar ass butt kickers, pardon me, butt kickers in the suits, and they live the gimmick, and the women, the airplanes, the cars, the fancy suits, and I thought that they told great stories, all the way up to where, they did the thumbs up, thumbs down, and Batista drops Randy. Yeah. So, all right. So let's head up to our top 2. Let's see. Jess, start us off. Number 2, man.
Number 2 now, probably up there on a lot of people's lists. Generational tag team. Everyone knows them. 4 Horsemen. You give us the nickname that all the time. Leagues.
Yep.
Rick and everyone. You can't say enough about the 4 Horsemen, everything they've done, the amount of championships between them, how long they were together, the different iterations of it as well. Another amazing faction. Definitely up there. Everyone's top 1, top 2, I bet.
For sure. AJ, number 2.
So, Silver Lion mentioned Bullet Club earlier, and I wanted to put Bullet Club here, but I couldn't pick an era. Plus, it'd be cheating for me since I never really when Finn Balor or when Prince Devitt's Bullet Club was a Bullet Club, I never saw it, so I figured that'd be cheating. So I crossed off Bullet Club.
Okay.
And I had to go with the NWO as number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Not Wolfpack. I hated Wolfpack, but the original NWO. Yeah. Hogan, which I've hated Hogan my entire life, but he was like the greatest heel ever because you never wanted someone to lose so badly in your entire life.
Yep.
And Hall and Nash, obviously, and you can throw X-Pac in there too, I guess.
Yeah, Bischoff, kind of the leader.
Yeah, Ted DiBiase was the financial backer. Like NWO had everything, and they revolutionized wrestling.
So
And yet they're only number 2.
right, yeah. Silver Lion, NWO at number 2. I'm also NWO at number 2. Hogan, Hall, Nash, Pac, Bischoff. Enough said. All right, Primo, number 2, Ben.
Number 2. So we've had. Was this episode 6? I've probably talked to these guys in at least two of the episodes of these guys being at the top of my list. My number 2, they're not my number 1, which is the surprise here, which is Team Extreme.
Extreme, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they basically my number 1, but the other faction, my number 1 faction is a true faction. The Team Extreme was Matt, Jeff, and then with the addition of Lita. So
Lita, yeah.
that's why I put them at number 2. I do love them and one of my absolute favorites. You guys know that already. That's my number 2.
All right, so we're going to round up here to number 1 here as we get started. Silver Lion, he said number 2, NWO. Also, he mentioned Macho Man as being NWO. Yeah, we kind of forget about that. So
I always forget about that.
yeah. All right, so I'll go first. 5-1. 5 Fabulous Freebirds, 4 DX, 3 Evolution, 2 NWO. Number 1, if you know me, you know who I'm going with. This is the only faction in the world I'll argue all day long. The Four Horsemen. I love the original. I love the OGs, man. Give me Arn and Tully. Give me Arn, Tully, Ole Anderson, Ric Flair. I love those guys. Take Ole out because he was only in it in the beginning. Barry Windham probably jumps right in there next with me as being the next. Paul Roma and Lex Luger never happened, so I'm gonna just move on from that. It never happened. So, but yeah, no surprise for me. Number 1, Four Horsemen. Gist, who you got? Number 1, man.
No, I kind of have a tie, but not really, since you can almost consider it the same thing. And since Primo talked about the other half of it, I'd say the Clique. The birth of so many great tag teams of this era, so many great things.
Yeah.
And
Dude, have you got, real quick,
off them. D-Generation X.
Yeah, DX. Yeah, have you guys ever heard the story of Scott Hall? Of how they started this. So Scott Hall.
Actually.
All right. Long story short, Scott Hall is in a bar in London, England, somewhere. Primo dropped the pen again. The heel pin. So he's in a bar, right? So he goes to allegedly this small little pub somewhere. He walks in. They're watching the soccer game, and the team that they're watching is some kind of Wolves, something along the way, and that's when they're celebrating. They were doing that. They were too sweet in each other with, the nose. This was the ears, of the Wolves. Yeah. So that's how they were doing it. And that's how they were. So he's over there doing a show. He comes back. He tells Nash about, hey, they're doing this thing over there. I thought it'd be kind of cool, And then so wasn't long after that, NWO was born. And then that gets introduced by Hall and Nash. They were the first ones to do it. So that's where he picked that up from.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Primo, who's number 1, buddy?
Primo's top 5 favorite factions. Start number 5 down. We got the Shield, number 5. Number 4 was For Life NWO. Number 3 was DX. Number 2, Team Extreme. And my number 1 was mentioned. Number 5 by Gist. Number 3 or 2 by Dirty. Evolution. So that shows me different, I don't know, just different time frames that we all kind of are wrestling.
Yeah.
Evolution for me, 02 to 05 was, what was I? In my teens. So it's perfect, time for me.
Yeah.
Where I was these guys are cool, man. And they're almost like the new Four Horsemen, these.
Yeah.
So you have Triple H, who at the time he's the man. You got the classic, the legend Ric Flair. You got the new diamond Randy Orton, who to this day is he's one of the greatest in the industry. So they did that right. Batista, who also became awesome.
Give me
and
one more.
Batista is one of Jet's favorite. So, and I like Batista too, but out of that group, that group basically launched Randy Orton. And it also led to Batista's heavyweight championship run at WrestleMania against Triple H. So that whole thing, they whooped so many dudes. During that time, I don't remember how long exactly Triple H held the championship, but it was one of those things where I remember I used to turn on Raw every week, and it was like, he still has the World Heavyweight Championship?
I know, yeah. Still.
Yeah. And then they whoop up on Big Papa Pump. They whoop up on Goldberg, everything. So it was awesome. Like I said, I was a teenager. I thought it was super cool. Evolution was my number one.
That's exactly
AJ, number one. Go ahead, Jim.
So, top 5, Dungeon of Doom, Radicals, Wyatt Family, Bullet Club / NWO at number 2, and number 1, been talked about so much already, 4 Horsemen. So, I'm a little different era of 4 Horsemen than Dirty is, because
Sure.
I acknowledge the Lex Luger portion of it, and Sting. I loved it when Sting was in the 4 Horsemen, but like that's when I got into wrestling, was Ric Flair, Arn and Ole, and even Brian Pillman when he was in there was great. But they were people feuding with the 4 Horsemen is what got me interested in wrestling when I was 7 years old, 8 years old, however old I was back then.
Sure.
And then it just kept getting better and better as it went on. And then, the death of it was kind of Brian Pillman, but I want to see a revived 4 Horsemen. I don't know how they would ever do it, but I think that would be amazing. Yeah. And I won't say anything else about it because you guys have said so much already. But number 1, 4 Horsemen.
Yeah, and nothing too, man, that we impasse with like Evolution of 4 Horsemen. They made it cool to like heels. They made it cool to like bad guys, right? You know what I mean? I wanted to be sitting ringside in a fresh suit, like pulling for the 4 Horsemen. You know what I mean? Right. Like it's made it cool to be a bad guy. So, all right. So there's the Dropkick discussion of the week. Thank you to Coastland Apparel for sponsoring that segment. Also, Rowdy Energy. Thank you guys for keeping us hydrated through here. We're going to run through some notes here as we start to wrap up the show here tonight, Sunday, April 25th, this coming Sunday, AEW Rebellion pay-per-view in cahoots with Impact. So, all right, Gist, what we got here is Tony Khan saying he's going to be there. Aubrey Edwards is going to be the referee of the Rich Swann Kenny Omega match. Tell me what you think happens there.
Like we talked about earlier, they're definitely going to protect both of their champions in any way they could. Put on an amazing match, do anything you want, but once it comes down to the finish, something fishy is going to happen, and it's definitely going to go right down the middle.
Yeah. Anybody? Any guesses? Anybody? I'm gonna say they put the title on the Impact title on Omega. That's my guess.
I agree. I think that Kenny's gonna be like back in the day, old school title collector. So I think that's where I think he's gonna be the title collector. The cleaner is gonna clean up that Impact Championship.
All right, let's see what happens. All right, so this big, huge thing with Charlotte. It was funny today. My wife, she's friends with Charlotte. She hasn't talked to her in quite a while, but she's seen something on her Snapchat. She goes, "What happened with Charlotte? Why did she get fined?" I looked over. I'm like, "Where did you see that?" She's like, "Oh, it popped up on my Snapchat or something." I'm like, "Oh, she beat up a referee on on Raw. Like it's a working angle. So yeah. So Charlotte heel is back. We're getting nasty Charlotte. I'm excited. That's my favorite Charlotte. Is Becky coming back soon, boys? What's that?
She has to be
whenever Charlotte's going full heel like she is now. That's when she's at her best.
I agree.
Yes,
totally.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally.
And the only one who matches super heel Charlotte is super face Becky. So I think that Becky comes back.
Eventually, go ahead.
Next couple of weeks, if not at WrestleMania Backlash. I hate that so
much. Yeah, Charlotte did get indefinitely suspended, yes.
Yep, so I don't know what's going on there. We'll figure out that as it goes. But real quick, man, I just want to talk about, like I always do, a wrestler spotlight. So tonight I'm going to talk about Sami Callihan on Impact. Just want to talk about it, man, because I like to talk about these middle carders because they don't really get the credit they deserve a lot of times. Sammy, man, he's been putting over these baby faces in Impact, trying to make stars. They're trying to make Trey Miguel into a big star. They got him right now with Sammy. So, but Sammy's just, he's doing awesome. He don't look like your prototypical wrestler. He was in the NXT system a long time ago. He's been a champion on the independent scene for just like a long time. He's a nasty heel. He's gross at times, but it's fun to kind of see what he's doing. So for me, he's kind of like a little bit of a workhorse, out there right now, kind of getting over these other wrestlers. So I want to see. I mean, he's been the Impact champion before, and he was champion until Tessa Blanchard took it over. Which there's a name we hadn't talked about in a while. Tessa Blanchard, where's she? Here's another one for you. Where's Velveteen Dream? How did all these how did guys get cut and he not? What's up?
I think they're still hoping that his I'll say legal issues kind of work themselves out.
Blows over.
Yeah. I don't think it will, but maybe.
I agree with that. I read recently an article because I actually just wondered this on my own like the other day. So I was like, let me Google. And I caught an article that basically where they interviewed Triple H and he's saying that, he's training just like everybody else and he'll be back.
Yeah.
That's basically his general answer right now.
Okay. I was just wondering because they just did cuts. All right, let's look at the cuts here. It's the making cuts right after Mania. They said this year was financial reasons. So anyway, they let go Chelsea Green, who is Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder's fiance. Let her go. They let go Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, the former Iconics, which sucks because I was loving Billy Kay's hilarity. It was great. It was really good, man. It was a good little funny spot each week. All right, so those two are gone. Mickey James, she was back for a little while, so no big deal there. But the big name out of all this is Samoa Joe. What happens now, boys? Does he keep wrestling or what?
How bad are his injuries right now?
Was he out for shoulder injuries or was it the head? With concussions.
It was concussions the last time. Shoulder was the last major one he had, but yeah. So I don't know. It might have been one of those things where WWE didn't want to let him wrestle, but
he might want a farewell match.
He might want a farewell match. I mean, he's always going to be welcome at Impact and Ring of Honor.
In Ring of Honor, I was about to say that's where he could do one fight, one last hurrah, one match. In one of those two, and then hang it up and go be a commentator somewhere. He was doing good at that.
I loved him on the mic. I thought he was.
Yeah, I really thought he had a stable thing going there until they fired him.
Me too.
Yeah, and then
for them and they fire him the next day.
I know.
So go stand in the rain for 3 hours and then get out of here.
No respect.
Done with you.
No respect. And then Wesley Blake was the other one. He was one of the Sons of Tomorrow, Sons of what was that tag team
with Riker?
Sons of Anarchy. No,
basically He was also
Yeah.
with Blake and Murphy back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. All right, so, all right, everybody. Who is your favorite champ right now? No change from me. I'm staying with Omega. I still love the New Japan work, whatever. Gist, who's your favorite guy, girl holding the belt right now?
Honestly, I'm happy that they have them, and I always think they've been good workhorses. But Dirty Dogs with their tag team belts, I was happy when I saw them get them, and I always think they put on great matches. Ziggler's been doing it for a long time. Rude's got the talent. I
Jet
thought I was deserving.
Primo is Jet's favorite champ right now. As if he needed any more gas there, Jet. Thanks a lot. He's all blown up over there already. All right, boys. What about y'all two? Who's your champ?
So I am changing mine now that I've been put on AEW duties. I have to switch it to Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Their match with Pac and Phoenix was phenomenal. I love their new heel, or not new, I guess. They're returning to their cocky heel personas. I think it's all money. So I'm going with the Young Bucks.
Yeah, they're going full blown. By the way, they're changing their Twitter bio. They're going full heel. Like they're not apologizing anymore. So these are going to be some cocky little arrogant son of a guns here for a little while.
They got rid of their tassels on their jocks, which was a nice little touch, I guess.
For them.
Yeah,
just so you know, Jet.
Heels don't wear tassels.
Just so you know, Jet, Paul Heyman is a dirty bird guy. That's how serious it is. All right.
Not the other way around.
Not the other way around.
No, by the way, my champ is
sorry.
So last week I said Roman Reigns. This week is not Roman Reigns. That didn't last long. I still do like Roman Reigns. Don't get me wrong, but I just have a thing for the mid-card champions. So I like kind of how Sheamus comes out and says, I didn't get this by, kissing anybody's butt. I came out here and I whoop tail every week, and I'm going to keep doing that. And he did with Humberto Carrillo. And on top of that, he's like, I'll defend it if I want to.
You're right, yeah.
Great.
Right. Well, the great Silver Lion, he says Bianca Belair is his favorite champ.
Yeah.
So, Sheamus right now this week.
All right.
I know I change every week, so.
That's all right. That's why we do it, man. See if we change. All right. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Talk about what you like about wrestling right now, what you don't like about wrestling. AJ, kick us off.
So, thumbs up. Again, I'm going with, I don't know if he was my thumbs up last. I don't know. Anyways, Jericho. I have a feeling that he's going to be my thumbs up for a while because everything he does is just golden.
That promo,
that promo that Jericho gave.
Yeah.
Like he can.
It was great.
Like if you think about it, like calling the Pinnacle the pineapple is such a stupid joke, but
right.
Jericho says it and it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's like Schiavone, when he says Shivani. It's like remember the old thing he used to say about Stephanie McMahon? Oh, you're the most nastiest, ugliest, most blah, 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 blah. He had this big long man. He's so good.
He's just the best.
He's all guy for a reason.
Yeah. What about you, Gist? What do you like about wrestling? What you don't?
I give a big thumbs up to. I've actually been enjoying this Roman Reigns program they've had with Daniel Bryan and all of them, and now Cesaro and possibly Seth Rollins. I thought that was a great WrestleMania build-up. They put on a hell of a match at WrestleMania. I thought that was great. The finish was something different than usual. I'll give it that.
Yeah, it definitely was. Thumbs down?
Thumbs down? I
love it all.
Yeah. Nothing thumbs
there's always
down.
parts where I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
But I've really been wondering where they're going with the Firefly Funhouse thing now, with Alexa and all that.
Yeah.
Especially with him taking that quick loss at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see where they're going with it. I'm interested with what Alexa's doing, but I want to see where this goes. Because they've been dragging Firefly on for so long now.
Oh, yeah. AJ, you
I'm
never
on-
said
I'm-
what you were down about. Yeah, sorry.
Well, just is better than mine, so I'm switching mine to the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah.
So
Primo?
what he said? Ta-da!
Okay, so this week my thumbs up. Thumbs up is the way that Sheamus is handling himself as the new United States champion, and then also to piggyback off what just said about Roman, I am down with the whole head of the table gimmick. I like how Paul Heyman is basically Paul Heyman's not his advocate. He's like when he's ready for a microphone, he does this, and Paul Heyman,
Yeah. Paul basically
Which is
stands
great.
there and
Nice
stares
little
at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You watch him, he just like,
right,
Like
he's
reverently
like
stares at him.
like a little like oh my god. So that's my thumbs up. That whole gimmick, it's winning for me right now. Thumbs down. I don't even know. A few, but we're at 2-1 here. Just two with do something else with Shayna and Nia. I'm done with them. That's my bathroom break every week.
Yep.
Second part of that is do something. Make me interested in Damian Priest. Now I'm just not. Right now the thing he's doing with the Miz, I'm just.
Needs a little Bad Bunny.
It's really flat. Okay, come on.
Right. We'll all discuss it at the Bad Bunny concert.
I put him over. I put Bad Bunny over at WrestleMania. You know that was it.
Yeah.
But so my other thumbs down
No more.
is actually has to do with WrestleMania. You can't give us that live atmosphere and then we see Thunderdome every week. Still, it's just
Yeah.
And I know they can't really control it, but it really
Screens back.
it's like here's a little bit. Oh, we'll take it back. So
Yeah. No, just kidding. No
Yeah.
more.
What'd you
have
say,
no live
Jess?
audience.
I was really disappointed when I saw the screens back on Monday night. I thought they were gonna have at least some of it filled up. Nice, Raw after Mania, big pumped up, big things gonna happen, and even Raw was kind of flat. AEW has fans, and that it makes it feel good when I'm watching it.
Yeah.
well, yeah, even NXT,
Yeah, like how do they have fans? And are they just running with the Thunderdome gimmick? Because Vince McMahon is like, yes, Thunderdome.
But it's the Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Put them in the Thunderdome.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna piggyback off that too. My thumbs down is the same as it's been. What Primo just said about fans, I'm freaking over that, man. So anyway, thumbs up. I still love everything that's going on, as I've been saying with Impact and AEW. And the other thing too, I'm gonna say I'm thumbs up about right now. I love old school wrestling. I love the slow burn of a storyline. I think we're seeing the start of that right now with this whole Young Bucks, Kenny, this whole thing. This is going to branch off into like a lot, on down the road. So, and then eventually they'll all break up, and those will be great matches too. So, but excited to see where that goes. So, thanks everybody for tuning in today, man. If you are in the chat today, if you are interested in some free stickers here, we'll send you out some free stickers. Just hit me up there on Facebook or Twitter, and I will send those out to you, man. Thanks for chatting along with us today as we start to wrap this show up, man. Next week, we're going to talk about our top 5 women's wrestlers right now. And our top 5 favorite women's wrestlers. So we're going to talk about that. We'll possibly might have a guest next week. We don't know yet. We'll see. Me and Primo's getting together soon. We're going to get a watch along going. We're going to watch Starrcade 85, the big blow off between Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. Also, probably the more legendary match on this card is the legendary I Quit match between Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA. Woo! Can't wait to watch that one, man. Love it. All right, so
and I've been told that I'm not allowed to watch for any spoilers. So
yeah, totally.
So I will be watching this for the first time organically.
First time
for the people out there.
Yeah, so I'll make sure you watch my social medias. I'll put out there when we're going to watch it. All that stuff coming up. Other things coming up. We're going to be talking about A&E's biography. Stone Cold was last week. Roddy Piper's coming up this week. So we'll cover those. Dark Side of the Ring is starting up very soon. So a lot happening right now. So once again, man, thank you to Just of My Fist 24 for being on the show today. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dirty. I can't wait to come back and talk some more wrestling and making these marks sit down.
That's right, man. Glad to have you, Tyler. Welcome back anytime. Just of My Fist. Go check this guy out, man. He's on Xbox just about every day of the week, winning races on NASCAR Heat. So thanks for coming in here today.
Two-time champ.
Thank you guys all for being here. That's Primo. That's AJ. We're the Cesaro fan club. We'll see you guys all at our next meeting at the Bad Bunny fan club. Or at the Bad Bunny concert, should I say. Primo's still champ.
Bad Bunny concert.
Yeah. Thank you guys all for being here, man. Appreciate it. We'll be back next week, man. Episode 7. We'll talk about current wrestling like we did today. What happened at Rebellion pay-per-view. So you guys all have a good one, man. Silver Lion, thanks for chatting along, man. Appreciate it. Jet, Primo, all you guys, man. Thank y'all. Appreciate you being here. Green Plastic, all you guys too. All right. I'm the Dirty Bird, man. We'll see you guys next time. Appreciate it.
Peace.